Action.
Good morning, the educators. My name is Mutia Rahanin and I am the first speaker of Argumentation team, and now we are debating under the motion. This House believes that scholarship should only be granted on the basis of the financial necessity. So, firstly, not all of the children in Indonesia can get access to quality education due to the economic conditions of their parents. Therefore, scholarship from the school can be a solution to overcome these problems. To provide a quality education requires a large amount of money. Therefore, every student in each educational unit has the right to receive tuition fees for those whose parents cannot afford to pay for their education and are entitled to scholarship for those who excel. In order to educate the nation's children to have the nation's best cadres who are intelligent and in accordance with expectation and can become students who are not scientifically intelligent but also have faith and piety. Referring to Law number 20 of 2003 concerning the National Education System, Chapter 5, Article 12, it stated that every student in each educational unit is entitled to a scholarship for outstanding achievers whose parents cannot afford to pay for their education. So, upon that, I propose two argumentation points. The first, the scholarship can improve one's academic conditions, and the second, it can increase the children's self-confidence. The first argument, it can improve one's academic conditions. A person's financial needs mean that someone really needs this scholarship assistance in order to continue their education. The right to obtain education has actually been legally outlined in the body of the 1945 Constitution, Chapter 13, Article 31, Paragraph 1, namely, every citizen has the right to receive education. But what about those who have a poor family background? As we know, all of the schools, both public and private, must have a tuition fees, and based on the 2018 National Socio-Economic Survey for the Social, Cultural and Educational Module, the higher of the level of education, the more expensive the school fees that parents must pay. The average total cost of education for the elementary school level in the 2017 and 2018 school years is 2.4 million. Then for the junior high school level, it reached 4.23 million. The average cost of high school is 6.5 million, while for universities it is 15.53 million. It can be seen from here that the cost for the education in Indonesia are very large. Especially when taking education from elementary school to the college, the cost can reach approximately 28 million, and not all of the families can pay for it. Families who are considered capable still feel the burden when paying for it all, especially for those who really need financial needs. Imagine if scholarships are aimed at all people, and most of the conditions for getting scholarship are by taking the test, then surely most of the chosen ones are children with smart brain abilities. Then what about those who can accept it? Smart children can still continue their education without the scholarship because the parents can afford that. But while the parents who can afford the fee, they can go to school without this scholarship. And also, if a children who can't afford can get an education because a lack of funds means it's all against the law. And also, if a children is rich but doesn't get an education, he can still work in his father's company, example, or anywhere, and the future that these children can be said to become. So what if the children from underprivileged families don't get an education? The fact is, of course, when he grows up, there is no decent job that for him. His work is only about the public transportation, the bus drivers, and so on. With scholarships that are only given to those who have the financial need, it means that the opportunity to get a scholarship will be greater than when the scholarship is intended for all people. Because the most in need here for the fee of education are people with low financial needs. And the second argument, it can increase the children's self-confidence. For those who come from an economically disadvantaged family background, of course there are some things that make them feel insecure around their other friends that have the normal background family. Whether it's in the form of the new school shoes or even when teacher asks to bring a laptop to school. These children cannot bring it because he only has a cell phone, and that can also be shared with his brother. Scholarships that are only intended for underprivileged children will be very helpful for them to increase their confidence. Where teachers ask them to bring a laptop, with the scholarship money they can use the money to buy a laptop. Imagine if a scholarship are intended for all of the people, and the scholarship it can be taken for the test where the one who get chosen is the smart one, and where it is possible that children from well-off families will get it, then what will happen to children from the families that have a background poor? Will they continue to be locked up in this prison of distress? And also, not all of underprivileged children go to regular schools. There are also those who study in the school that can be considered elite, so that many students use expensive tools or even clothes, or like the smartphone that has branded on that. And that can lower their self-confidence, and it can make them reduce to study. They will feel that they are not will be accepted anywhere in their friendship because it is not on par with others. Scholarships that are only intended for children who are being unable will really help them in increasing their self-confidence. They can use this for buying the laptop when teacher asks them to. They can use it for buying the new shoes for them when their shoes got dirty, because they can buy money for necessities that will make them look natural in the eyes of other students and will make him be same for other students. So I strongly agree with this motion because the scholarship that only afford based on the financial necessity can improve one's economic conditions. And the second, the scholarship also can increase children's self-confidence. That's all from me. Thank you so much for listening.